Hi, I'm Don Badan from SampleLibraryReview.com, and I'm very excited. Today we're taking a look at Spitfire Symphonic Brass from Spitfire Audio. It seems Spitfire is on a roll, discontinuing collections like the former string Sable library and consolidating it into a new and much more affordable Spitfire chamber strings. And now Spitfire's taken the BML libraries, a huge collection of brass, and consolidated it into the Spitfire Symphony Brass. The library is a contact player instrument, meaning it's compatible with the full and a free version of Contact. It downloads as a little over 64 gigabytes. Yes, that is huge. It does contain all of the samples, I believe, from the BML Brass, with a new interface and some great new scripting. Now, the huge pro right away here is if you didn't hawk your grandmother's jewelry to buy the BML series as they were released, you can now get the entire collection for just 499 British pounds, a special intro price, 399 British pounds until October 1st, 2016. Now, I personally didn't have any of the BLM libraries prior to this review, and from what I can tell, the new revamped collection gives you all the samples and all the BLM libraries, including 2 sections of different size sample sets from trumpet, horns, and trombones. It also contains 2-player ensembles with bass trombone, tenor trombone, and cimbasso. And solo instruments for everything I've mentioned, as well as solo instruments for tuba and contrabass trombone. Huge highlight is the A6 instruments come with a amazing performance legato, and most of the other instruments all come with a regular legato. Now, the big exception being the tenor trombone, which does not have a legato instrument. Rumor has that there's one in the works that'll be out soon. Unfortunately, the tenor trombone also suffers from some audible looping in the longer held notes. Now, big standouts for this library are the sound and the amount of articulations you get. The sample set is very extensive. I have a feeling that this library will deliver what you're looking for. Big caution here is that this is recorded in the Air Lyndhurst Hall, which can be a very thick sounding corded sample set. If you're looking for a dry library, then this library will not be for you. There are 3 mic positions in the library: a close mic, a tree mic, and an ambient. Instruments that just use the Spitfire Easy Mix option, which I have become a huge fan of. You just get a little fader between close and far. Now the sound is really fantastic. This is a great sample set. You can create some extremely high quality mock-ups, but there's a big con here that lots of those of us chiming in on the forums, groups, have all noticed. And I'm kind of a little dumbfounded that it was released this way. There's a very harsh release sample that is in some otherwise really beautiful instruments here. Now, the problem with the release sample seems to be in the performance legato. That's Spitfire's new legato in their A6 section instruments. When I first heard it, I actually thought that maybe it was a problem with my library. I did a batch resave, and that did not solve the problem here. Asking around and listening to the reference of Christian Thompson's official video, and it's still right there. Now, unfortunately, what brings this down to be a huge con for the library is the fact that Spitfire has locked the legato instruments. You can't get into the back end of Contact to adjust it. Those strange release samples are there. You have to try to work around them, hoping that there is a speedy update from Spitfire that will please all of us. Even with the cons I listed here, I'm still loving the sound of this brass sample set. The price makes it more than competitive with other brass libraries out there. A great standard symphonic brass library that can perform very natural and create some very realistic kind of orchestral playback. Be sure and check the links in the description below on the sample library review page for Spitfire Symphony Brass. Will include a full written review as well as demos, any other reviews, official videos we can find. Try to make it a one-stop place for you for everything we review, so be sure to check that page out. Links in the description below.